Hey everyone, so our build was buffed in the patch that we got today. Now that I have added cast on freeze back into our build, the AoE clears is fantastic. Yep, you heard that right. After the cast on freeze was nerfed, it is now actually viable for our build. And although the previous editions was already pretty good, this one is simply superior. Since I have only been working on tier 7 maps and 8, it's been only a day, so the build setup has not been changed too much. If you have already played with Herald Plague before, you are aware that the poison pollute is pretty good, but this version is much better. So as you can see in the background, I am clearing the map quite quickly. In essence, we are clearing packs one after another with just 2 buttons, and it is as smooth as PoE 1 ED Contagion playstyle. Alright, so let's talk about why bringing cast on free setup right now, right after the nerf happens. Now, I tried the setup before, and I even theory crafted it all the way before the leak happens. You can check my video where I talk about the setups. But anyway, there are 2 reasons why we are bringing it back. First, there is the nerf to energy gains for meta gems like cast on freeze, and what it means is that now it is much harder to proc and will proc less, which is, funnily enough, that's a plus for us. You see, we had mana issues before when we used cast on freeze was triggering too often. It messed up my rotations, and for a spell like Contagions, you only need to cast pretty much like once or twice and cast it on the frozen targets. What this means now is that we essentially can use this setup without any mana issues, so that's good. The second reason was because Contagion's wording was changed from PoE 1 to PoE 2, and I again specifically theory crafted this based on the fact that it should transfer poison, which is a chaos debuff. Well, at the side of the leak it didn't, and I was sad when I tried it out and it didn't work. Now apparently it was a bug, and GG have now fixed it, so our build is much stronger than before and came to your pack so smoothly with the Contagion setup. Alright, so what is the Contagion setup? So this is when we use cast on freeze and we have Contagions, and our support we pick Swift Afflictions and Drain Ailment. So Drain Ailment is actually the start of the show here, I think. So I don't truly know how this works because the Herald Plague and together with the Herald Plague, right? And what are the correct interactions? But here are my assumptions on how it works. And if anyone wants to help me test it out, I would appreciate it. The monster died a bit too fast in lower tier map for me to test it, and for what I'm assuming, basically the setup let us scale Contagion poison damage massively if we do it right and ramp up all the way until the last monster. So when the monster is frozen, we have the Contagion cast on them, and then we shatter it, we apply the poison. Now the shattering itself for fragmentation do a massive amount of damage, and once that monster is dead, the poison spread to the next monster. Now the Contagion will also spread to the next monster as well, and it will, I assume, will spread after it and eat that poison on that monster to do 35% more damage. Now while retaining that original poison damage because it's transferred over. So with that, Contagion will keep spreading, and each time it's jumped from monster to monster, the poison will also jump with it, and we can easily apply ailments. So as we use fragmentations to apply poison debuff, right? Now the Contagion will keep feeding on that poisons and scale the damage higher and higher, each time by a multiplier of 35% more damage. This is on top of the 100% more damage each time Contagion has spread to a cap of 300%, so this will bring that original big hit poison that we do on the shattered targets to spread across multiple monsters and just growing to be a huge poison, huge damage, right? But that's not all. We also put bleed on the monster, and Galvanic Shard can actually trigger bleeds quite often. This is what I originally planned to have, like a double ailment kind of thing, which in this case, if bleed was confirmed, then we get a free double dipping poison and Contagion spread on the other monster, which is again much better damage and AoE clear for us. This setup alone will make our AoE clear so much better, and again, thank you GG for fixing Contagion and realize my vision in the theory craft. Alright, I hope that I explained the idea behind the gem setup a little bit. So next, I also added the Withering Presence, which is require you to have a good amulet with double spirit to fit in the slot. So it's optional, but it's a great chaos damage multiplier for your single target damage mostly, because at this point, switching to galvanic shards mean we freeze the boss a lot less, so we had to rely on fragmentation rounds and HBR to basically do single target damage. I'll probably look into something better later on, because maybe like Hammer the God, right, for the big bleed, but I'll take a look at that later. But for now, I still feel like we don't have any problem with the single target yet, so yeah. You may have noticed that I have a blink setup as well, which is a weapon swap trick that I use to blink out any sticky situations, right? I'm going to show you how to set it up on any class, and as long as you have the second-hand weapons available, then you can use this. First, you can assign the blink skill to a specific weapon, which in this case will assign it to our second weapon setup, which had a shield. Directly using the blink skill is not possible, because the game doesn't swap weapons for you to use the blink skill, because it's just an aura, right? However, what you can do is you can assign the aura to the second weapon setups, and then you can, once you swap to that setup, the aura will become activated, and your dodge roll will now turn into a blink, which is what we are doing right now. So the step-by-step, right, here's what we need to do. You need to find a shield, equip it, assign the blink aura to the second weapon setup only, and then whenever you need to blink, you use the raise shield, right? So this spell right here, you assign it to any button, really. I assign it to the middle mouse it's just convenient for me. So you raise the shield, and then the game swap weapon for you, and now you activate the blink spell by using dodge roll, just like this, see? So in here, I swap weapon by raising the shield, blink aura become activated, and just like that, we can use the blink. So so after that, you know, when you want to swap back, you don't really have to do anything. You just use your spell and attack, because it's default to the first weapon already. But anyway, yeah, so voila, you're now ready to blink out of any situations, and you can use this mobility skills for free pretty much. And it's a very neat trick that you should know and can use on any build, so I suggest you start using it. Oh, and one last thing, right? You want to be using this blink spell with mobility and second wind support, so that you can cast it faster and you can cast it twice. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much the gem setup. I have updated the guide on Mobalytics to reflect this as well, so come check it out for the latest update, because sometimes I can't go back and change things in the video. Next up, I want to address some important tips for gearing, and I will start with the weapons. So here is my current weapon that I'm using to clear maps, which in my opinion is very generic, but good enough, I guess. I will look to upgrade for something better as I get into red tier maps, which is like tier 10 or 11 plus, right? And so the bane stat that you are looking for when buying, crafting the weapons, I would say 80% you should care about getting the best physical damage on the weapons, because we care about that most. It would tremendously help your single target damage and AoE clear. The next stat we should prioritize is crit chance on the weapon, because crossbow based crit rate is quite low at only 5%. Now, after that, it is up to you, but getting critical damage is nice. Proc level is also good, but can be hard on your mana. But anyway, yeah, if you're lacking damage, it's most likely your weapons is bad, or like, you know, have low damage, as I don't have issues so far. I'm not promising you that this build will work in red tier map though, but if anything from what I've seen so far, it will. I just need more time to play, push it into the endgame, and I will abandon this build until it is capable of mapping in the endgame. So yeah, if you're following my build, you can rest assured that I will keep this build alive. I am not sure about Uber though, because poison is generally not that good against single target. Next up, the dual slot is extremely strong in PoE 2, much stronger than PoE 1, so you need to be prioritize getting them. And Well, this is not PoE 1, right? And each of your modifier is like on par or, not like even better than a passive node if it's a high roll. So the main stats that I suggest getting into would be one of the following, right? So at least one of the magnitude of ailment or poison that you inflict. One of the critical hit chance or critical hit chance for attack, right? Because we want high critical hits. Then after that, any utilities or damage mods are good. Again, this will be listed in the Mobalytics guides for a full list of modifiers that I recommended. Alright, so I think that's about it, covering why the build is now much better than before. And from what I heard, mapping in the late game is brutal. So if anything, you want to fight build that will have proper defense, because what I'm showcasing you right now in tier 6, tier 7 maps, it's really nothing. Probably any build, even default attack, can do this on a proper setup. So make sure whatever build you follow or choosing is capable of both defensively and offensively, otherwise you might have a bad time in the late games, which is why I will wait until I clear the late game for a full guide on the setups. But yeah, that's about it. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, comments down below with any questions, and I'll see you in the next update.